Hello students. Today we are going to discuss about cardinal utility analysis of Alfred Marshall. In our previous classes we have discussed that there are mainly three conventional approaches to consumer equilibrium as cardinal analysis, ordinal analysis and behavioristic analysis. Now we are going to the details of cardinal utility analysis. The concept of consumer equilibrium using cardinal analysis is associated with Alfred Marshall, the neoclassical economist. But this is not the original contribution of Alfred Marshall. The concept of utility and cardinal utility was originally developed by the economist from utilitarian school, including Gosson, Williams, Jevons, etc. But later Alfred Marshall modified and structured the analysis of Gosson, Williams and Jevons and connected their concept with consumer equilibrium analysis. That's why this analysis came to be known as Marshallian cardinal utility analysis. The most important and core assumption of cardinal approach is that the utility or want satisfying power of a commodity can be measured, calculated and assessed using numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. That means, suppose if a consumer is using a product, for example, consumer is using product X, then it is possible for the consumer to say that he got 10 units of utility from that. That means utility can be measured using numbers and consumer can say that consumer can express utility using numbers. The most important concepts introduced by the Alfred Marshall is, first one is the law of diminishing marginal utility. It explains the consumer equilibrium of the consumer using single product. This product may be either a single free good or an economic good. A free good is a product that we need not pay money for it. An economic good is a product that we need to pay money. Second concept associated with Marshall is the law of equimarginal utility. Equimarginal utility also explains consumer equilibrium but multiple economic goods. It is the analysis of multiple economic goods. Third concept related with Marshall is consumer surplus. First of all, we are going to explain the law of diminishing marginal utility. In order to explain the law of diminishing marginal utility, Marshall used three concepts. First one is utility. Utility is the want satisfying power of a commodity. That means certain products will be having certain power to satisfy the desires of the consumer. For example, suppose you are using a pen. This pen is having the power to satisfy the need of writing. You can write by using pen. Therefore, pen has the power to satisfy your need, and this need satisfying power is termed as utility. The concept utility is purely a subjective concept. That is, it depends upon person to person, varies from person to person, it varies from time to time. That means utility of a product is different from one situation to another and it varies from person to person. Suppose an ice cream that provides different levels of utility to different consumers. Similarly, the ice cream that is consumed at the noon time will be having more utility than it is consumed in morning time. Therefore, same product is providing different levels of utility at different times. That's why utility is a subjective concept. Next concept is the marginal utility. Marginal utility is the utility derived from last unit. Suppose a consumer is using 5 units of a commodity. Fifth unit is the marginal unit, and utility derived from fifth unit can be termed as marginal utility. According to Marshall, this utility, marginal utility, can be measured using cardinal numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And therefore, cardinal measurability of marginal utility is one of the important features of the Marshallian analysis. There are some important features of marginal utility that we need to remember. First thing is, marginal utility is the utility derived from last unit. That is, suppose as we said earlier, utility derived, suppose we are using 5 units of a commodity, marginal utility derived from, or utility derived from fifth unit is the marginal utility. Similarly, marginal utility is the utility derived from last unit. And second point associated with that, as consumption increases, marginal utility goes on diminishing. If consumption is increasing, marginal utility goes on diminishing. Third point is that at a particular point, mu becomes 0. That is, when continuously consuming a commodity, at a particular point, marginal utility becomes 0. And last point is that after 0 point, marginal utility becomes negative. That is, when you are continuously consuming a commodity, after a particular point, its utility becomes negative, marginal utility becomes negative. 4 points associated with is that first one, it is the utility derived from last unit. Marginal utility goes on diminishing as consumption increases. It becomes 0 at a particular point, and after 0, marginal utility becomes negative. Now we are moving to the concept of total utility. Total utility is the sum of marginal utilities. That is, we are adding different marginal utilities to get total utility. Suppose if we are using 3 units of a commodity, then marginal utility derived from first unit plus marginal utility derived from second unit plus marginal utility derived from third unit is equal to total utility. Therefore, all the utility derived from all the units is termed as total utility. Here there are the features of total utility. We know that total utility is the sum of marginal utilities. That means different marginal utilities are added together to get total utility. Second point is that total utility increases at a diminishing range. That means rate of increase is diminishing. At the initial stage, it may increase at a higher level, and then it decreases at a diminishing rate. That means total utility increases at a diminishing rate. Third point is that total utility reaches maximum at a particular point. That means there is a maximum point to total utility. Fourth point, after the maximum point, total utility diminishes. After maximum, total utility decreases. And last point, total utility can never be 0 or never be negative. It will never be 0 or never will be negative. These are the features of total utility. Once again, the 3 concepts introduced by Alfred Marshall to explain consumer equilibrium is utility, marginal utility, and total utility, and we have already discussed its features separately. Now we are moving to the consumer equilibrium analysis of Marshall in case of a single free good. We have already said that a free good is a free gift of nature. It may be abundant in supply. Therefore, a consumer need not pay money for it. A consumer need not pay anything for its usage. Therefore, a free good is simply free, need not pay money. The basic condition of equilibrium in case of a free good is that marginal utility of the product is equal to 0. That is, consumer will stop the commodity when he is fully satisfied. That means suppose if marginal utility is 0, it means that he is going to earn nothing if he is consuming one more unit. Therefore consumer will stop consumption at the point where marginal utility is 0. Now consider an imaginary utility schedule that is shown in the board. Suppose we are consuming first unit of the commodity, marginal utility is 10, and as consumption increases marginal utility goes on diminishing. That means from second unit consumer is getting only 6 unit of utility, and from third unit consumer is getting only 2 units of utility, and from fourth unit consumer is having 0 marginal utility, and from fifth unit marginal utility becomes negative. As per our previous analysis, we have already said that marginal utility goes on diminishing and it reaches 0 at a particular point, and after 0 it becomes negative. These are the features of marginal utility and it is visible from this table itself. Now let us look into the total utility schedule. We know that if the consumer is consuming only 1 unit, the total utility also will be 10. That is marginal utility derived from first unit alone. Then if the consumer is increasing his consumption to second unit, his total utility increases to 16, because he got 6 unit utility from second unit and 10 units utility from first unit. Therefore total utility is 16. And in case of third unit, his total utility increases to 18, because from third unit he got 2 units utility. And in case of fourth unit, his total utility is never increasing, because marginal utility here is 0. And in case of fifth unit, marginal utility decreases to 15. Therefore in this table it is clear that consumer is having maximum utility, the maximum total utility at a point where marginal utility is equal to 0. That is consumer is consuming the fourth unit of the commodity. Therefore total utility is maximum when marginal utility is equal to 0, and if the consumer is consuming a single free good, he is optimizing his satisfaction at a point where marginal utility is 0. That is total utility is maximum when marginal utility is 0 in case of a single free good. We are going to diagrammatically represent the same concept. For that we have x-axis and y-axis. On x-axis we are having utility consumed, and y-axis we are having total utility. First of all, we are going to draw the marginal utility curve. It is downward sloping. This is the marginal utility curve, and it reaches 0 at a particular point. That is at point n it reaches 0, and after that marginal utility curve is negative. Corresponding to the point n, we can draw a highest point on total utility, and we are drawing a total utility curve like this, and it reaches maximum when consumer is consuming on unit of the commodity, and after that total utility decreases. That means total utility starts declining after the maximum point. Here nt is the amount of total utility, and as consumption increases or reaches 0 on, the marginal utility becomes 0, and at the point of 0 marginal utility, total utility is the maximum. By this analysis we can say that total utility is the maximum. That is, it reaches at the maximum point when marginal utility is 0. That is, when marginal utility is 0 at this point n, total utility is the maximum. We know that the purpose of the consumer is to have maximum satisfaction, and therefore the point of attaining this maximum satisfaction is the point of consumer equilibrium. Therefore consumer equilibrium is attained when marginal utility is equal to 0 in case of a free good. The same diagram can be explained using two segments, upper segment and lower segment. In the lower segment we are showing marginal utility, and marginal utility curve is drawn. It is downward sloping and it reaches 0 at a particular point. Corresponding to 0 we can identify a higher point there and draw a total utility curve like this. and total utility curve after the maximum point starts decreasing. This is the total utility curve, and below we are having marginal utility curve. The same diagram is plotted here in a different way with the two segments. In a previous diagram we have used only one segment. We have plotted total utility and marginal utility together. Here we have plotted two curves separately. In both the diagrams, total utility is maximum when marginal utility is 0. Therefore, this is the point of consumer equilibrium. In the next session, we will be explaining consumer equilibrium using a single economic good. Hello students, in the last class we have discussed the law of diminishing marginal utility and consumer equilibrium using single free good. Now we are going to explain consumer equilibrium using single economic good. In our previous analysis we have said that a consumer will be in equilibrium when he is attaining maximum satisfaction. Therefore, in case of a free good, he will stop consumption when he is reaching satiation or the maximum point. That means at the point of marginal utility is equal to 0. But in case of an economic good, the consumer need to pay money for it, and therefore consumer will compare the amount of utility that he has to pay for the product and the amount of utility that he can derive from the product. That is, a comparison will be made by the consumer. The consumer will compare the price of the product with that of utility that he is going to receive. Or we can say that suppose the consumer is consuming product X, what is the price to be paid for X will be compared with the amount of utility that he is going to receive from X. Or in other words, we can say that consumer will compare the amount of utility spent with the amount of utility received. That means the utility spent will be compared with utility received. That is, and a consumer will reach in equilibrium at a point where price is equal to marginal utility. Therefore, the equality between price and marginal utility is the point of equilibrium if a consumer is consuming a single economic good. Now let us consider an imaginary utility schedule to identify the equilibrium point. We have three columns here: units consumed of the commodity, price of the product, and marginal utility of the product. Here the consumer continuously compare the second column and third column, that is price with marginal utility. Suppose if the consumer is consuming first unit of the commodity, and we have assumed that price of the commodity is rupees 5 and marginal utility received is 10. In this case, consumer is receiving 10 units utility and price paid is only 5, and therefore consumer is having 5 unit utility more than price. That is, consumer is going to have 5 unit surplus. Therefore consumer will have a tendency to consume it again. Therefore he will move to the second unit. Therefore second unit, in case of second unit, the price of the commodity is same, because for the first unit and for the second unit consumer need to pay same amount of money. Therefore price is 5 and marginal utility, we know that as consumption increases marginal utility goes on diminishing, and from the first unit we received 10 units utility, and from second unit we are going to receive only 8. Therefore in this case of second unit as well, the consumer is paying 5 rupees and receiving 8 unit. Therefore consumer is going to have a surplus. And in case of third unit of consumption, the price is same and quantity or marginal utility received is 5. Therefore here price and marginal utilities are equal. We are saying that at this stage consumer will have a tendency to stop consumption because this is the point of consumer equilibrium. Suppose he is going to consume one more unit of the commodity, that is fourth unit is consumed, then the price of the commodity is same 5 rupees and he is receiving only 3 units of marginal utility. That means he need to pay 5 units of marginal utility but receiving only 3 units. Here the amount going out is more than that of the amount receiving, and therefore consumer will have no tendency to use such a unit. Therefore consumer will stop consumption when he is having an equilibrium point where price is equal to marginal utility. Therefore, as per the analysis, the third unit is the point of attaining maximum satisfaction to the consumer. As the consumer move above third unit, his total utility will be decreasing. Therefore, the consumer is attaining equilibrium at third unit of consumption, and at third unit, marginal utility is equal to price, or price is equal to marginal utility of the product. This is the point of equilibrium. One important point to be noted here is that all the units of the product are sold at same price. That is, for the first unit, for the second unit, and for third and fourth unit, consumer is paying same amount of money. This is because of the two basic assumptions of neoclassical theory. These assumptions are existence of perfectly competitive market. That is the first assumption. If there is perfectly competitive market, the price of the commodity will be same for all units. That is the first reason for having same price for all products, all units. And second aspect is that marginal utility of money is assumed to be constant. These are the two reasons for having same price for all the units of the commodity. Two reasons once again: existence of perfect competitive market, then marginal utility of money is assumed to be constant. Now we are going to diagrammatically explain the diagram. We have x-axis and y-axis. On x-axis we are representing units consumed by the consumer, and on y-axis we are representing price and marginal utility of the product. Initially we are going to draw a marginal utility curve which is downward sloping. This is the MU curve. We know that as consumption increases, marginal utility goes on diminishing, and therefore this marginal utility curve is downward sloping. And now we are going to draw the price line, that is PL. This price line is parallel to x-axis because all the units of the commodity are sold at the same price. This same line can be the marginal utility of money curve. Here we assume that marginal utility of money is constant, and therefore PL is the price line or marginal utility of money curve. The intersection point of marginal utility curve and marginal utility of money curve is the point of equilibrium. That is, point E is the point of equilibrium, and at this stage price is equal to marginal utility because price line is equal to marginal utility line, and consumer is consuming OM units of the commodity at OP price. If the consumer is going to stop his consumption before point M, let us assume that this is the point of consumption. In this stage, this much amount will be the price, that is OP, and this much amount will be the marginal utility. That means that marginal utility is greater than price, and therefore this is not the point of equilibrium. Here consumer is having certain surplus and he will have a tendency to consume it again. Suppose if the consumer is consuming more than OM, like this, the price of the commodity will be more than that of marginal utility. Here marginal utility is lesser than price, and consumer is going to pay more than the amount of utility that he is receiving. Therefore he will have to suffer loss, and therefore in such a situation consumer is not ready to extend consumption beyond OM, or consumer is not ready to stop consumption before OM. Therefore we can say that point E is the equilibrium point. where price of the product is equal to marginal utility. Now let us conclude this session. As per the law of diminishing marginal utility, consumer equilibrium can be identified in case of free good and in case of economic good. In case of free good, consumer equilibrium is identified at a point where marginal utility is equal to 0. This is the point of consumer equilibrium. And in case of an economic good, consumer equilibrium is identified at a point where marginal utility is equal to price. Therefore, consumer is in equilibrium in case of free good when marginal utility is equal to 0, and consumer is in equilibrium when he is consuming an economic good where marginal utility is equal to price. This is the law of diminishing marginal utility and consumer equilibrium. In the next step, we will be explaining the law of equimarginal utility or consumer equilibrium using multiple economic good. Thank you.